Well, hello and welcome back. My name is Kieron Seamons, and this is my inky world where we get on and we do some drawing together, you and me. So, if you're in the mood to do some drawing, some crazy scribbling, or some painty mess, then go and get your bits, go and get your pens, your paper, your brushes, whatever you need, and let's do some drawing together today. You ready? Let's do it. Let's do it. Well, hello and welcome back. So, for all the people that have been asking from my last video, what mandolins have you been fixing? What violins have you been fixing? Well, this is the type of thing that I'm talking about. You can see that on here, like they're all smashed up and all broken. Some of the inlays all fall out. And it's one of those very, very old mandolins with like a lovely kind of walnut wood back. A lot of them are broken, don't work anymore, and I love fixing them up. So that's what I've been working on. So all you people that keep asking, what are you doing? Right, well, that's just kind of like a hobby. So, that's that answered. Right, so back into the drawing. Oh, you got your pen, you got your paper, and let's get in and do some crazy funky drawing. Alright, don't like you already, so I'm not going to use that pen. I shall use this pen instead. For you that are asking, there you go. That is what the pen looks like. That is what the nib looks like. I have no idea what the name of it is for all you technical people. It's just a pen. And it doesn't really make that much difference in my mind about what type of pen it is. It kind of gets more down to the feeling of how the nib feels. How the nib makes me feel. And each day is a different feeling, you know. I know, again, I've had lots of people asking lots of very technical questions, but you know, one day I'll pick this pen up and I'll think it's the best pen ever made, and then tomorrow I will pick this pen up and I will really not like it, and I will be looking for something stiffer, something floppier, something more leaky. You know, I love it sometimes when a pen leaks a lot, and it gives me lots of feeling about a certain mood and a certain. And so I do find that the pen fits in with whatever the mood is of that moment, that day. You know, it's like the same with my hats. You know, I wear whatever I want whenever I want, and it just. And today, this one feels nice. Right, my head is full of lots of the things that I've been working on at the moment. I've been working on lots of kind of book kind of ideas with lots of different kind of creatures in it. And one of the illustrations that I need to do at the moment is a thing called a brigid. And it's a made-up creature, of course. And I'm not really quite sure of what it looks like, which is always a good start, I think, to a character, of kind of having elements that you want in it. And I have this idea that he is wearing a kind of childish dress-up costume. And I kind of wanted it to be like an animal of some sort, like a small kind of fox or a rabbit or something like that, you know. And that is the kind of, it's a very kind of evil creature. It's a very nasty creature, but it dresses up. And it's one of the characters in my upcoming book. What? Another book? So, if you haven't caught up with all the other hundreds of books, go and get some. Go and make me rich before I start this book. Go on. There's lots of things about this kind of creature. I wanted it to be quite a sneaky type creature, you know, that it would have the same type of character of something that would sneak through the bushes, you know, like some kind of animal that would, you know, maybe like a weasel or something like that. But and I don't want the lines to be too heavy on this. I want it to kind of make the character kind of feel quite light, quite kind of fluffy. So I'm trying to be very gentle with my lines today. As you can see, I'm being very sensitive. Trying to kind of get this kind of furry kind of costume feeling. Now I kind of like the idea of it kind of being an orange or something like that, you know, the character to kind of have this kind of reddy orange, almost in the same kind of vein as a fox or some kind of fox type creature. Beautiful. And it's important to have a feeling if you're thinking about a character for a book. If it's somebody else's book, the most important thing is when you read the description of that character about how it makes you feel. It's very important. If you read the character and you kind of maybe you have a different feeling from what the author has requested, maybe that's a good thing for you to kind of go with your feeling and sketch up some ideas. As we're doing here, we're sketching up some kind of feeling. And that feeling then can be conveyed to the author. And, you know, you can basically say, as I was reading through your description of the character, I felt this and I felt that. And you might be very, very, very on par with, you know, some of the feelings that other people have maybe mentioned, you know. And I have done it in the past where I've actually come up with characters that have nothing to do with what they've described, but when they've seen them, they've kind of gone, yes, 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 that's exactly what he should be like. So feelings have a lot to do with illustrations. And it's also, I like the idea of it kind of being quite scruffy almost. Like it's got little kind of hairs, you know. Kind of makes it look like you might imagine on the side, the the kind of the side of a hog, you know, the way that they have that thick kind of wiry wool, wiry kind of hair that kind of sticks out. So are my cameras all moving? Yay! And please do feel free to kind of get your pen and your paper and just sit and draw with me. It would be my pleasure. Quite nice. I haven't done any eyes on here yet. So as usual, there's no plan here. There's no guide drawing. It's just about letting your pen feel its way. And a lot of times I do feel that sometimes gives you a character that isn't one of those kind of premeditated type of, I want it to be like this and I want it to look like that. And as long as you're thinking about the character as you're drawing it, if you're constantly thinking about the story, constantly thinking about the character, then you have a really lovely way for it to come across. Now, the only strange thing about this character was that I imagined it to have gloves. So as he's wearing this kind of costume, he does have gloves, and I'm not quite sure what the meaning of the gloves is in the story, but it just seems to be a very important part of his character, that he has this kind of fur costume where he's trying to pretend to be some other creature. He's in disguise of some sort. But I'm almost kind of feeling like these kind of rubber gloves of sorts are there to kind of I almost kind of feel like it's some kind of, like people wear like those kind of plastic gloves or rubber gloves when they're doing something they shouldn't be doing. You know. And this kind of thought of these kind of rubber, kind of baggy kind of rubber gloves or some sort. Maybe they could be even like leather gloves, maybe. Just to kind of give it an air of kind of mystery almost. I always loved the characters when you see them and then you think, well, why does he wear that type of hat, or why does he have handcuffs, or why does he have something, and that leads you to all these kind of questions, leads you to this type of mystery about the character. And that's the buttons of his costume. That he has there. Lovely. So this is today's drawing, and it's very nice to be kind of back, although I have kind of been drawing. I do kind of feel like sometimes if I don't draw for a few days, I feel like it's been like 10 months or something, you know. But that's just kind of... Sometimes life takes over and there's certain things that you need to do. And usually making money is the issue, you know. It's like sometimes you've got to come away from all the fun things and actually go and try and make some money. Nice. I'm liking that. I'm liking the direction of it. So I hope you're doing some kind of drawing today. I hope you're kind of getting in there and scribbling away at something. I like the idea that people are drawing while watching. Mr. Miro is fast asleep on the sofa at the moment, charging up his batteries for our walk later on in the afternoon. It's become a great pleasure to walk with Mr. Miro every day. He has become my reason for getting some kind of exercise of sorts, you know. Otherwise it can be quite a difficult thing to kind of tear myself away from the stories and the illustrations, and sometimes that can be quite, you know, you kind of get into something and you just kind of drag your day along. It's difficult. Yes. So I have a few book ideas at the moment, and I'm working out lots of sketches in my sketchbook, lots of thoughts and lots of ideas. Trying to kind of nail down the stories. The story's quite exhausting sometimes to sit and to write a novel. At the same time to be doing your illustrations and such, and keeping them separate, keeping them fresh. You know, it's very, very difficult. I don't like when stories and illustrations kind of bleed into one, which is very easy to do. You know, you get so attached to something, you get so absorbed by something. And of course there is Werlip's book 2, which I am working. I've kind of worked out the story, which I'm really pleased about. And now it just comes down to the difficult part of nailing it down and actually wording it. And sometimes that's, for me, it's probably the most difficult part, but actually knowing the story and knowing what's happening, and then kind of finding the correct words and the phrasing and the storytelling can be very, very difficult. And I think with Warriorlip's book 1, it kind of left it to a point where leaves a lot of things unanswered, and I've kind of got to go back and answer them. You know, for those who read it and for those who asked, yes, it will be a book 2. And if I can't seem to answer everything in one sweep, there will be more. But book 2 for now. And it has a very, very, very direct story, as you know from book 1. There is a very kind of clear direction for it. As I have said many times, I would love to see it as a movie of sorts. It has so much in it and so much to guide it. And I do feel it's quite an original story. And such, I'd be very pleased to see it become a movie form of sorts. Let some of those characters breathe a little bit. And I think we were talking last time. I was like, Norman kind of gives me the feeling of somebody like Lee Evans or somebody like that. You know, that kind of. I do like the way Lee Evans' characters come across. It's got a lovely. He is very, very, very good at getting a certain character across, as he does in his TV shows. He's quite a remarkable actor. Also, I've seen him in Mousetrap with Jackie Chan also, and he is quite a believable actor almost, you know. And there we have our our demon wrapped up in some kind of costume of a character, possible fox or a possible something else. Stoked even. Getting very low on the ink again. It was. I didn't feel it was that far back when I bought 10 litres of ink. Was it that long ago? I feel like it was a couple of months ago. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. I mean, there's a lot of people that are coming back every month to look at more and more and more drawings, and they're still not subscribed. It's crazy. I've got such a high percentage of people that come back every month to watch, and they're not subscribed. Please do. It does help the channel, as does your donations if you do like the channel. And there is a PayPal channel there. You're very welcome to donate something to kind of keep the channel alive, keep it moving, keep it ticking along. But it's every month I get this kind of report from YouTube that kind of says, you know, something like 87% of your people don't. 87% of your returning viewers don't subscribe. I was like, why? That sounds crazy. If you're returning anyway, why not? And then it tells YouTube I'm such a nice boy. Everybody's coming back to see me. So that is today's drawing. and I'm quite pleased with the character of this one. He does have a very splendid feeling about him. Let's just wipe that off. And I would love to get your comments. What do you think about the style? What do you feel about today's drawing? What do you feel about whatever, you know? Give it a nice big thick kind of framed feeling to it. And there we have today's drawing. quite nice. I'm very pleased with that. So I would love to get your comments. What do you think about it? That's our demon wrapped up in some kind of animal costume. You can see with the buttons all down the front there. So that is today's drawing, and I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I would love to hear from you, and I'll see you again very soon with another drawing. Thank you. Bye bye.